few days before the end of the war, British intelligence unit 30AU was racing to capture one of Hitler's top scientists. Their target, rocket plane designer Helmut Walter, was behind enemy lines in the port of Kiel.
To get hold of Walter, about 6 Marines actually went ahead of the army, together with, I think, the SAS, and went straight to Walter's headquarters. They knew where it was. And there was Walter. And he was extremely uncooperative at first. And then after a couple of days, suddenly decided he might as well open up everything he had.
Walter had been working on a radical aircraft, which the British were anxious to learn more about. They also needed someone brave enough to try flying this machine. Test pilot Eric Brown was the man for the job. A legend in aviation, Eric Brown has flown more types of aircraft than anyone else in history. When he flew into Germany in the last days of the war, he was shocked by what he found.
It was like walking into Aladdin's cave as regards advanced aircraft. The airfields we visited were mostly in a state of chaos, but the strange thing was, much to our astonishment, they had not touched any of their advanced jet or rocket aircraft. Now, my only explanation for this is that they were so proud of their achievements in this sector that they wanted us to see what was available, what might have been.
Eric came face to face with one of the strangest looking aircraft in the German Luftwaffe, the Messerschmitt 163, with its rocket engine, designed by Walter.
It was an airplane that made the adrenaline flow, certainly exuded a great challenge to fly. It had a number of revolutionary, innovative features. It had swept wings, but above all, it was rocket-powered, and it landed on a skid.
Eric was desperate to discover how the Me-163 worked, but the more he found out about it, the more he realized this would be a dangerous test flight.
The rocket that Walter designed for that aircraft was a very clever piece of engineering. It was small, it was light, and it was powerful. But because it used an explosive mix of fuels, two substances, C stuff and T stuff, that when mixed together essentially explode and power the rocket, it was known by its pilots as a flying bomb.
The two fuels mixed together to produce 8 minutes of rocket power. The plane could climb 20,000 feet in under 2 minutes, so it could launch surprise attacks on enemy bombers. The pilot sat in a cockpit surrounded by rocket fuel. It was not a plane for the faint-hearted. Over 10 German pilots had died attempting to fly the 163. Most were killed during takeoff or landing. But this didn't seem to worry Eric Brown.
I was encouraged by the boffins who were in on the act to have a go at this, and there was nobody around to stop us. That was the real thing. The noise really was ear-splitting, and one felt as you sat in this with this aircraft rocking under this power. It was like unleashing an atom bomb, I think. And I think one has to say you felt a little apprehensive about what was lying ahead, but the temptation was so huge to have a go at this thing.
Eric Brown became the first and only Allied pilot to fly this rocket-powered plane.
It was rather like being in charge of a runaway train. I felt I'd never had this feeling with any other airplane, and it was a jump ahead of me all the time. And I was catching up with it. It really took your breath away.
Having assessed the plane and captured the man who designed it, The British were now ready to exploit this new rocket technology.